Boy, oh boy, guys, welcome back to the Brick City Blockade Podcast Network. And this evening, here on the Podcast Network, we got some interesting news to break down here. Star Wars Celebration, as you guys have been following with Celebration at Home from the Podcast Network, we finally got the Last Jedi teaser trailer. And I'm going to throw it right on over to you, Scott. Boy, oh boy, we got something real special this time around.
We did indeed. This trailer was fantastic. So many great scenes in it. The attack with the new fighters. We got to finally, after 2 years, hear Luke in a trailer. New words, not old words from previous movies. We got to see a bit of Leia from the back. We got to see BB-8. And we got to see that great shot of it from the Force flashback that Rey had in The Force Awakens of Luke kneeling down to see his Jedi temple burning.
Yeah, there's just a lot happening there. So many different sequences, Mr. Bryan Fontaine, when it comes to this trailer. So much stuff that we have to look at in depth because there's a lot you can miss within this teaser trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I've probably watched it about 10 times today. I was so glad that Rian Johnson, who we knew he was a class act ahead of time. I mean, just a quick aside. I mean, last night, taking pictures and signing people's, autographs in line last night. Fortunately, I did see this morning that a lot of fans actually waited in line all night and still didn't get in. So, obviously that's a huge bummer, but that type of stuff's going to happen. But anyways, this trailer was just phenomenal. They led right into it with, I thought the panel itself was stupendous. And, we weren't going to get a lot of information, but, we got a new character, Rose, Kelly Marie Tran. Finn, John Boyega, basically confirmed what we already kind of had a hunch about, that he'll be back. And, obviously Oscar Isaac, Poe Dameron couldn't be there, but Mark Hamill stole the show. I think he stole the show in the panel. He stole the show in the trailer. I think there's a lot of misdirection in this particular teaser trailer to kind of get you thinking one way that will end up, I think, probably giving us kind of the rope-a-dope when we actually go see this movie in December. But it was actually interesting, as I think everybody on the network for the most part was, we were all watching the trailer live, and we all had the ability to kind of chat live about it through our Facebook group that we have. And man, it was just awesome. I really don't have any words. I think that, and I think, Scott, I was talking to you a couple hours ago, and just everybody, it's about 1:30 UK time right now. So thank you, Scott, for sticking around and with us Americans here in the East Coast time. So
not a problem. It's I'm off tomorrow, so that's okay.
Yeah, there you go. And it's Star Wars. It's the Last Jedi. I'm like stumbling over my words, guys. I have so many thoughts running through my head, but I think in general, I think we're going to see and learn a lot about the Force. And for me, the takeaway when Rey is talking about the light and the dark, and even Luke with I hope this line actually stays in the movie, because he made the comment of something like, there's so much more. And that to me tells me that I think we're going to learn a lot about the Force, more so than we have in the past. To be honest, I don't even really care who her parents are anymore. I just think this is going to be a fantastic movie. And I think we're going to see a lot of that pain that Luke is in, where he's reclusive right now. He's hesitant. I honestly think that he's going to, for the second time in the Skywalker saga, I think he's going to have to go on the hero's journey again, because I don't think he's going to want to. And I think you heard Rey talk about it. Daisy Ridley talk about it in the panel. Like, sometimes your heroes aren't what you think they're going to be, and I think Rey is going to have her expectations let down initially, but I think they're both going to help each other, and I think it's going to take both of them to eventually take down the fledgling First Order. And you get the sense that the First Order, they even said it right off the bat, that they're going for blood, and I think they're seeking their opportunity to take back over the galaxy.
Absolutely. There is just so much happening within this trailer. And just like you said, Brian, at this point, Rey's parentage in many ways is like a secondary to third piece to this story. There's a lot happening. We have two different stories playing out here. We have Poe Dameron and Finn. Obviously, they're going to be going on some kind of mission just from the looks of what this trailer is giving us. And Rey and Luke are going to be going through their own thing. And you bring up a great point here. When watching this trailer, I've probably watched it now 10 to 12 times. And just looking at it each time, I pick up something new about the Force and what maybe Luke has been within seclusion, been trying to study and break into. And you bring up a point about one specific scene that I want to touch upon, which is that Force tree, what I believe to be inside of the Force tree. And we look at that bookshelf. Now, that's not your average library. Those books are ancient. Those are original Jedi scripts of some kind. And it would make a lot of sense that that would be what Rey is studying from alongside Luke.
Yeah, did you guys see, was there, I thought I saw like the logo for the original Jedi Order. Did you guys see that?
Yeah. Yeah, I caught that when I was watching it the first time round.
It's just exciting, and I think we're gonna. We know we just got visual confirmation that we're gonna see Phasma again. We saw just one quick shot of Kylo Ren, and I think this one was to really set up the stage to let us know that Luke is a big part of this. And surprisingly, we didn't see anything about Snoke. I thought we'd see at least something about him, but we got to also remember, too, this is just the teaser trailer. This is to whet the appetite for all of us as Star Wars fans. And, you know, my estimation, I think we're going to get the first official trailer, say, in maybe the July timeframe. And I think we'll probably get that official trailer probably at the end of September, early October. And then that's when all the TV spots and stuff. So we'll start to fill in the gaps from there. But, you know, Robin, you and I talked about it the other night, kind of with our preview of Star Wars Celebration at Home coverage, that, you know, we're a little gun shy as Star Wars fans because there was a lot of stuff that was in the Rogue One trailers that never made it to the film just because they had to kind of craft that a little bit differently to fit the time allotment and to tell a really good, you know, succinct story. So I don't know. This is just exciting times as a Star Wars fan. Hey, guy, let me talk. Scott, let me throw this over to you. What'd you think about the poster that Rian Johnson released?
I loved it. It's nice to see Luke finally on a poster for a start. And also, I liked how, see when I first saw it, the first thing I thought was, I had She-Ra stuck in my head for some reason. When Rey's holding up the lightsaber. And I just like how it's so red. And you've got Luke's half face on one side and Kylo Ren's face on the other side, but lowered down. It's just stunning. It's different from the poster that came out last year for Rogue One, and even the one that got released at D23 2 years ago. This one's just, I want it on my wall. I wish I was there to get that poster.
Yeah, there's just so much about this trailer, and we did get that poster, and I have to admit, a lot of fans, that was probably one of the first thing I saw being retweeted like crazy across social media was the poster, even before the teaser trailer and everything, because that, like you said, Brian, you said it beautifully, it's just the whet the appetite, just to get us talking about The Last Jedi now. Now, I have to bring this up here, you know, coming off of Rogue One, one of the things we got in Rogue One that we are definitely going to get here, it looks like, in The Last Jedi, is a space battle, something that Empire Strikes Back also did very well. Guys, how excited are you to see a space battle in Star Wars yet again 2 years in a row?
I think it's going to be great. I saw a lot of ships and stuff that I'm unfamiliar with, so I think they're going to you know, kind of change things up, which will be great. And, you know, there'll be some familiar things. Now, in one of the scenes that it showed Poe Dameron and BB-8 running to his, unfortunately, it looks like his black X-Wing fighter is going to bite it after, you know, that's become kind of iconic only one film in. But I thought I also saw like almost a hybrid of an A-Wing where it was to the left of that. So I got to go back and check that out. But there's so much to analyze, and it's tempting to overanalyze it. But I mean, you guys talk about all the time on Talking Star Wars. There's so much more canon content. There's a lot of book announcements and stuff that I got to dig into that it looks like we have going on. And really, guys, it's one of the reasons why we have this podcast network. It's why we engage with fans. We've got, Jared Chilson and David out in Japan, and just a lot of the fans that we like to interact with, hear the theories. I think the theories are going to go 100-fold now that we've got some actual video footage. We've heard the actors talking about their roles. There's new characters. We didn't see anything about Laura Dern. We didn't see anything about Benicio del Toro. So we're going to continue to speculate about that. It's so exciting. I think all of us are just totally amped at this point.
Yeah, I quite liked seeing the space battles, just even though it was just brief shots. It just, because we never got it in Force Awakens, but we did get it in Rogue One. I can't wait to see it in the Force, in the Last Jedi. I just the scene where like there's a kind of New Republic command ship. It kind of, I don't think it was command ship, but they all look similar, brand new stuff. And the kind of like Y-wings or B-wings, that just looked awesome. Yeah, I just can't wait to see it.
It's going to be epic once this film. We're getting closer and closer. The months are starting to track down, yet there is still more Star Wars Celebration yet to happen. We're recording this, of course, post-trailer. We still have a Saturday and we still have a Sunday at Celebration. Who knows what more could come about The Last Jedi or anything happening in this galaxy far, far away. One of the last things I want to bring up to you guys real quickly is the end of the trailer where we see Luke looks like he's in the doorway of somewhere specifically, but he says something very, very important. I'm going to fire it over to you guys. It has to be one of my favorite ways to end a Star Wars trailer that I've seen in quite some time.
Yeah, the line being the Jedi must end, and it's like, what does that mean? Does he think that because the Jedi and the Sith have pretty much dominated the galaxy for centuries, going back to the Old Republic, does he feel that this is what's causing a lot of the problems in the galaxy, or does he just feel that it's too much weight to carry because he's seen how it affected his father and what Obi-Wan's told him, what Yoda's told him, and even that Force tree? And I think I was speaking to you about it, Rob, is that where he communicates with both Yoda and Obi-Wan, or whoever else he speaks to? Yeah, so basically, is that why he thinks the Jedi must come to an end once and for all?
See, I'm thinking this is, if it stays in the film, is going to be something early on, and I think Rey is going to be literally, no pun, I guess pun intended, be that ray of kind of sunshine for him to really, just as much as I think it's going to be a partnership for both of them, and I think she's going to bring him back into the galaxy, and I think he's going to come to his senses a little bit and realize that he is important to the galaxy. He was, what you can argue if he was the chosen one or the son of the chosen one, and I don't think it really matters, but I think the Jedi Order as we know it has changed in 30 years since Luke came back, and I think he realized that even though he tried to restart the Jedi Order, I think he obviously failed, and I think that is going to tug on his heartstrings and just make him hesitant to try it again. But I think Rey is going to be the one that, obviously, I think obviously the Force Awakens was all about her kind of coming into the galaxy, and because there was a need, and I think, Robin, one of the things you said, I think the Force always finds a way, whether it's good or bad, and if one side gets overcompensated, I think the other, it always there. I think we learned a lot about the Force in season 3 of Star Wars Rebels. For any of our fans out there that have been following along there, and a character like the Bendu, and we want to try to keep things towards the middle. I think eventually, I think Luke, and we've speculated about it as one of our main theories that we've all had as a podcast network, but I think the Jedi Order is going to be very different, and I think it's going to be a lot of Luke, what he's learned, what he's experienced, and I think there'll be a new a new way of how to conduct yourself. And it could be quite possible that you embrace both sides of the Force at certain points. And I think if you're to the extreme one way or the other, I think that's when the galaxy runs into trouble. So it'll be really interesting to see how it all plays out.
The best part about what Mr. Bryan Fontaine said there is that there is a ray of light within the Star Wars universe once again, whether it is Daisy Ridley, whether it is you, the Star Wars fans. We say it all the time here on the podcast network. We can talk about it all we want, but it's up to you guys to go watch the trailer, begin the speculation, have these discussions with the rest of the community about this galaxy far, far away. Guys, I think it's that time of whatever we do here on the podcast network. It's a little thing we like to call
Plug
time.
That's right. Plug time here from the Brick City Blockade Podcast Network. Mr. Bryan Fontaine, where can the good people find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Jedi Scavenger SW. You can also find me there on Instagram. And again, I'll give the plug for the website, brickcityblockade.com.
And you can find me on Facebook at Scottinge and on Twitter at Scottinge85.
You can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Vogt Tweets. Go over to Instagram and make sure to subscribe to the podcast network on iTunes. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to check out more Star Wars Celebration from home from the podcast network, and make sure to keep it locked here to the podcast network for everything The Last Jedi. And we'll see you soon. May the Force be with you.
Always.